Okay, I think I've said before that it's like the RC gods are just smiling on me with this one. And again, with the smoke unit, things have just fallen into place so simply and so easily. It just amazes me. This is the finished smoke unit, which I'll show you a demonstration of in just a second. But the way it worked out was, you can see the exhaust pipe comes out right under here. Okay, so with the smoke unit sitting right there, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it in here right now. If not, I'll zoom in. Right under here is the control panel that stretches all the way across and holds the two speakers. Now, on the far side of the control panel, there's nothing. On this side, I have my switches. So with the smoke unit sitting right here, it sits right on the far side above the one speaker, and with a little dot of Velcro underneath there, it'll stay in place really nice. And this tube has a kind of a friction fit, it goes in and out fairly easily, but you got to push it in and pull it out, so it'll stay in place just like that. And the height is just perfect, and it's like it was like that, I don't know, like I put that shelf there on purpose, not just for speakers and switches, but like I knew I was going to do this or something, and I didn't. So, I don't know, maybe the RC gods knew what time it was. So, let me show you the smoker. I'm going to do the last bench test on the smoke unit. And then I'm going to run the unit on the bench for at least 15 minutes, just to make sure it doesn't melt. And I'll watch for warpage. And you can probably see these two copper alligator clips. I have those attached to the resistor wires as heat sinks, and I'll be checking those, and if they get really warm to the touch, that'll be a bad sign. But I also learned something about these copper, or what I thought were copper alligator clips. They're actually copper plated. This is real copper, and it won't stick to this magnet, but the alligator clips do, so they're obviously just copper plated. You learn something new every day, huh? So it takes a second for the resistor to heat up and for smoke to really get going on this. But I'll mount it right there with a little dot of Velcro on the control panel board, and put an on-off switch on the control panel board, and tie in the power right where it comes in for the IBU. And it makes really good smoke. In just a second, I'll edit this, and in a second you'll see it in the tank. Right now it's pulling. You can see how it's pulling the smoke back down into the unit itself, and that's just making it thicker, But that's the plan. In a second you'll see it in the tank. Okay, before I install the smoke unit permanently in the tank, like I said, I'll run it on the bench for at least 15 minutes to make sure heat's not a problem. And if I think heat is any problem at all, because it's running on a full 8-volt battery voltage right now, but if that's too much for it, I'm going to use one of these. This will bring the voltage down to whatever I set it to. So I'll bring it down to like a steady 6 volt and see how that works. This is also what I'm going to use dialed down to 5 volts to provide power for the FPV. Unless, I got a sneaking suspicion that this FPV is 12 volts. I got to call my guru and find out. If it turns out to be 12 volts, that needs a whole different board. I'll have to step up to 12. But either way, it'll still get a filter. Alright, so anyway, like I said, it takes a second for the resistor to warm up. And I know it's a little bit loud, but we'll talk about that some more in a second. Like I said, the piston gives it that pulsating effect, like an internal combustion engine. That's pretty much full smoke right there. That's about as good as it's going to get. Now the fan and the piston, they also provide, I think, just enough airflow that the resistors stand, you know, fairly cool as far as not getting so hot that it wants to melt the case. It seems to be a good balance. This is with the fan and the pump running off battery voltage through the two resistors that are on the stock smoker. Now, as far as sound goes, if I start the engine sounds, see how well it masks it out. That was cold start on the IDU. I can still hear the smoker, but more of what I hear is the click, 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 the kind of treble sound. You can see that since it got up to capacity, the smoke flow has remained pretty steady. That's back to full volume from the TPA. And that's smoke for the Hetzer. That's going to work just great. When I lift the top off of it, if I want to, I can bring the smoke unit with it, or I can just unhook it at the right here at on the other side of that elbow. It unhooks real easy. It's I can't believe how easy that came together. All I have left to do is wire it in for power, and we'll be all set. See you next time.